Hello everyone and welcome to Hungarian with Adriana. Today we're going to learn the numbers from 0 to 12, and by the end of this lesson you'll be able to ask the question what time is it in Hungarian and answer with sentences like it's 1 o'clock, it's 8:15 and so on. Make sure to stay until the end because we'll also practice with a lot of examples. Let's start with the numbers. I'll say them slowly, so just repeat after me. Nulla, egy, kettő, három, négy, öt, hat, hét, nyolc, kilenc, 10, 11, 12. A quick note before we move on. The number 2 has two forms, kettő and két. Kettő is the full form, and it's used when you count or say the number by itself. For example, if someone asks you how many people are there in the room, and your answer is 2 on its own, you will say kettő. And két is the shorter form. It's used when a noun comes after the number 2. For example, if you want to say 2 hours, you will say két óra. Óra means hour and also o'clock when telling time. In Hungarian, we have two options to ask the question, what time is it? One is hány óra van? Hány óra van? It literally means how many hour is, or how many o'clock is. Hány means how many, and it's used for countable nouns, things you can count. And van means is. How many hour is. I know it sounds strange in English, but here is the reason. In Hungarian, when there is a number or a quantifier in front of a noun, the noun stays in the singular form. So in English we say 1 hour, 2 hours. We use the plural form. But in Hungarian we keep it singular. 1 hour, egy óra, 2 hour, két óra. The noun doesn't change into the plural. And the other way to ask what time is it is mennyi az idő. Mennyi az idő, which literally means how much the time. Mennyi means how much, so it's used for uncountable nouns, things you can't count. Az means the, and idő means time. Both questions are correct, and you can use either. Mennyi az idő or hány óra van. And this is how you can answer the question. You will say number, óra, van. For example, it's 1 o'clock will be egy óra van. Egy óra van. So we have the number, egy, and óra van. Literally, 1 o'clock is, or 1 hour is. So how would you say it's 2 o'clock? Két óra van. Két óra van. How about it's 10 o'clock? 10 óra van. 10 óra van. You can even drop the verb van for a quicker answer and just say egy óra, két óra, 10 óra. Just like in English, sometimes we drop it's when we're asked what time it is, and we just say 1 o'clock instead of it's 1 o'clock. You can also drop van from the question itself. So instead of saying hány óra van, you can also say hány óra. If you want to say it's 3:10, so if we have minutes too, this is how it will work. The word for minute is perc. Perc. And you will say number, óra, number, perc, van. So it's 3 will be 3 óra 10 perc van. 3 óra 10 perc van. 3 o'clock 10 minute is. But we can make it shorter because this is way too long and people don't usually say it like this. Again, we can drop the verb van and just say 3 óra 10 perc. But this is still a bit long. And we can make it even shorter and say 3 óra 10. Or the easiest and shortest way is to just say 3:10. How would you say it's 12 past 6? 6 óra 12 perc. Or 6 óra 12. Or 6:12. Notice when there was the word perc after the number, I said 12 perc. But when there was no noun after the number, I said 12. Okay, let's have one more. How would you say it's 5 minutes past 8? 8 óra 5 perc. Or 8 óra 5. If the minute is a number under 10, it's usually better to keep the word óra in the sentence. So in this case, we wouldn't really say 8:05. It just sounds a bit strange. What about saying quarter past, half past, and quarter to? For quarter past, we have to say quarter, the next hour, not the current hour, van. The word for quarter is negyed. Negyed. So quarter past 4 will be negyed 5 van. Negyed 5 van. Quarter 5 is. But again, we can drop van and just say negyed 5. And we use the next hour, 5, and not the current hour, 4, because we're not saying it's quarter past 4, like in English. The meaning is more, it's 1/4 of 5. So let's practice this. How would you say quarter past 11? Negyed 12. Quarter 12. Quarter of 12. How about quarter past 12? Negyed 1. Quarter 1. Quarter of 1. And lastly, how would you say quarter past 8? Negyed 9. Quarter 9. Of course, you can also say 8:15 and use the number 15, which is 15. 15. So how would you say 8:15? 8 óra 15 perc. Or 8 óra 15. Or 8:15. The same concept works for half past. So we use the next hour because we're saying that it's half of that hour. The word for half is fél. Fél. So 6:30 will be 6:30 van. 6:30 van. 6:30 is. Or you can drop van again and just say 6:30. 6:30 because it's half of 7. How would you say 10:30? 10:11. 11:30. How about 2:30? 2:30. 3:30. Half of 3. And how about 4:30? 4:30. 5:30. Half of 5. Again, you can also say it's 4:30 using the number 30, which is 30. 30. So how would you say it's 4:30? 4 óra 30 perc. Or 4 óra 30 or 4:30. For quarter to, we'll need the word 3/4, which is 3/4. 3/4. So quarter to 7 will be 3:47. 3:47. So 3/4 7. 3/4 of 7. So how would you say quarter to 10? 3:4. 3/4 10. 3/4 of 10. How about quarter to 8? 3:48. 3/4 8. And how about quarter to 2? 3:42. 3/4 2. You can also say it's 1:45 using the number 45, which is 45. 45. 40 is 40 and 5 is 5. So how would you say 1:45? 1 óra 45 perc, or 1 óra 45, or 1:45. Well done! You can now count from 0 to 12 and tell the time in Hungarian. To practice, tell yourself the time throughout the day in Hungarian. The more you repeat, the faster it will feel natural. If you enjoyed this lesson, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any videos. And if you'd like to improve your Hungarian even faster, let me invite you to my Hungarian Jumpstart course. It's a 2-hour beginner-friendly audio course that's designed to get you speaking real Hungarian from your very first lesson. I'll leave the link with more information in the description below. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!